Gurudev and all the devotees, please accept my humble obeisances always to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. So my obeisances to all of you, Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha.
Patitanam Pavane
Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha.
In our prayers to Srila Prabhupada for his blessings and empowerment. Maum Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshaya Swami Itanamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharni Ishitarne Hum Shiro Shitavar Kamalam Shigurun Vaishnavam Shashi Rupam Sagratatam Saganaraganatam Vitam Tam Sachigam Dvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishnapan Vitam Shah. Hare Krishna, everyone. Great to be with you.
Hare Krishna.
And wow, I'm out in the middle of the sea. Headed towards French Polynesia, and wow, what amazing this is that we're all together. It hasn't been many years we could do something like this. I mean, recently, this is amazing. And the ship that I'm in has the latest, greatest equipment to connect to the internet. It's called Starlink. And a lot of boats are using it. Even I had some friends that were sailing back from just in a regular small sail boat. They were delivering a boat back from Tahiti. And they had internet connection. That's really quite nice. So here we are. Does anyone have any special epiphanies that since we last met that you wanted to share? I guess one of my thoughts is I'm on a cruise ship. And there's, I guess, several thousand people on board. And I'm not sure if that includes the crew or not. But yeah, it's well, if anybody ever wants to preach and you don't have an audience, all you have to do is sign up on a cruise ship, get a couple of Krishna shirts, and you're ready for you have a whole congregation. And I would say the biggest are the Indians that are on this ship, that are the ones they're working, the ones that work for the line, for the cruise line. They're so interested, and they're so pious. But they don't have a clear understanding of their own culture. But many are vegetarian, and but they don't know a lot. It's almost like their religion has become ritualistic, and so it's really, and they're amazed to see a Western guy walking around with a Christian shirt, and then I start talking to them, and Bhagavad Gita, and I quote a couple of shlokas here and there to their attention, and they're like they're ready to hear. And yeah, it was like one after another. Sometimes it's amazing how much opportunity I have for speaking with people. So, and of course I prayed to Krishna. All right, I'm going to go on this cruise. Make sure that you can have some service for me to do while I'm on the boat. And yes, I've been giving out these. It's not showing well. Anyway, beyond birth and death. And, yeah, it's lovely. At the same time, I look at the people, and they're really here to enjoy. The cruise line is all about enjoying, and it's so fascinating to see that, from our angle of vision, that they're just being misled. There's nothing on that cruise that's they're really big on cheers. I never really heard that term so much before. I guess cheers means having a drink. And anyway, it's they're really, the whole thing is to go out and enjoy on this cruise. But there's a couple mundane things that I kind of liked. I think Prabhupada liked it too. They had a really good magician, and I liked watching that the magic show. Many Indians are great magicians. There's a real famous one. I can't remember his name, but Indians are usually, whatever they do, they're usually better at it than anybody else. They're like any Indian on this ship, especially the workers here. If I have some technical question about how to, I only can use one, what's it called? One device, or I'd have to pay extra for it. So I had to switch from my iPhone to my laptop, which I'm using now. The last time I was just using my phone when we met, and now I'm using the laptop. And boy, the Indians, they're so smart. You ask any of them if they're like, mopping the floors or something, or making beds. They're brilliant when it comes to electronics and stuff. You ask any of them. So it's really been fun. I think this has a big part to do with this shirt, is the Krishna thing. One guy discovered on here, oh no, yeah, guy I was sitting next to yesterday, he was commenting on, he thought he saw Ganesh on my shirt. And I said, where's Ganesh? I didn't even see him. He said, no, on your arm. And then we looked carefully, and it ended up, it's a cow. He thought it was Ganesh. I mean, it was a little tricky to figure it out. But anyway, so I'm having a lot of fun on the cruise. Fun in terms of meeting with people and connecting with people. And people are generally kind of friendly on the boat. You say good morning and everybody says good morning back. It's not like something you walk down a regular street and you say good morning and somebody that they're ready to grab a gun or something. And what are you talking to me? you don't know, but everybody's friendly. So I find it a good opportunity to speak. They're out of their element. Yes, Francia.
Yeah, I have a question. How are your friends doing? The ones that are supporting you? And,
that's a great question. They didn't come. And I'm not quite sure what happened. They took care, all the expenses were taken care of, but something happened. I haven't been able to reach them to find out why they didn't come.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what happened. Something at the last minute happened, and I haven't been able to hear from them. But anyway, my Christians I'm here, and all expenses are taken care of. So it's kind of. And funny, I met another person I was preaching to. I don't like the word preaching. I was sharing with, and they said that they were going on another cruise coming up, and that they would they wanted me to come with them, and the room would be taken care of. I guess there's some nice people on the boat, so it's been fun. I was one guy showed me when I first went into the dining area, a very nice Indian gentleman showed me the vegetarian stuff where it was. But somehow the next day it disappeared. There was hardly anything vegetarian. And I was a little concerned. So he's one of the big managers. So, and I've become friendly with him. So I said, something happened. You tricked me. There was all this vegetarian stuff, and now there's only hardly anything. And he said, well, he couldn't understand what I'm talking about. Anyway, ends up that the place that he showed me was further down, and I somehow was missing it for a couple of days. And then he walked me down and showed me. So, oh yeah, here it is. So anyway, eating well. Okay, we got a lot of questions. Not a lot. But
Gurudev, Parampara Prabhu had a question. He put his hands up.
I'm sorry, I didn't see.
Yeah, Gurudev, I was trying just to ask, like, are you alone in the boat then, Gurudev, because your friends are not there? So are you alone traveling right now?
Traveling alone, yeah. Well, I still would have been alone. I mean, I have my own stateroom.
Okay. Now I was saying, like, there is no other company that you just, meaning like you're just traveling alone, right? I mean, there are other people in the boat, but not that who were trying to join you initially.
Well, I did bring someone with me. I brought Krishna in my heart.
Yeah.
And I also brought Jagannath, my little Jagannath deity, and I brought the little Prabhupada gift that I was given to all the Prabhupada disciples from the early days.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm definitely not alone, Krishna.
Okay, good. Yeah.
We're never alone.
And us as well.
Mhm.
And us as well. I have vertigo today, so I've been thinking I have transcendental seasickness.
Transcendental seasickness.
That is so cute. Oh my God. Yeah. Yes, Gurudev, you did bring us along.
Okay. Yep. So look, we're all together now, right? And we were together last week, and hopefully when we get down to French Polynesia, it's still going to work, but we'll see. So Francia had the first question, and I'm going to read this and listen carefully, because if anyone wants to answer this question first, then by all means. Okay. Renunciation is on my mind. Giving up the results of all activities. When you give classes, and I do healing touch sessions, it's easy to trust Krishna with the results. But my daughters have responsible paying jobs: doctor, research statistician, hospital manager, HR director. I think that's human resources. I'm not sure. Is that right? HR.
Yes.
Hello.
Okay.
Hi.
HR director in clinical trials. How do people function with these responsibilities without looking at the results?
Yes. And that's on my. We just moved back to Wichita yesterday.
Okay. Okay. How do people function with these responsibilities without looking at the results? It seems that results matter. Is the point that they do not take credit for doing a great job, or be thanking Krishna, woo, that worked, or not accept credit for doing a good job when they are acknowledged? I hope this is a low ball question for you tonight. Well, actually for today. Okay. All righty. Does anyone want to take a shot at where did I muted Tirtha? But maybe he had to take that call. All right. Okay. So anybody want to take a shot at that question? Okay. So the way I would answer it, and you can answer this a lot of different ways, is that we definitely care about the results of what we're doing in spiritual life. Absolutely. I mean, the result of what I'm very result oriented ultimately. My biggest service is to all of you. I mean, that's my most important responsibility in my service to Krishna and to my own guru, is to raise my disciples and students and so on, to see you all advance in spiritual life. And I'm very concerned about that, which is why I want to meet regularly with you. And I get so much joy from it, from seeing everyone grow. Now, ideally, a person who, if we're dealing out in the material world as devotees, we are result oriented no matter what we're doing, whether it's raising a family or working at the hospital or managing human resources or whatever. We want to do the best we can, and we're result oriented. But ultimately, if we're not successful, and assuming it's not from our own negligence, but we've actually done the best we can, then we're ultimately not attached, because we know that Krishna's got the final word in everything. And I'll give you a good example that Prabhupada, before he left India, he went to a place called Jhansi. I don't even know where that is. Can somebody tell us where Jhansi is? Do we have any?
Is that somewhere in Bihar? Vrindavan Chandra Prabhu, do you know?
I don't know.
I think it's somewhere in Bihar.
Okay. So anyway, that's not important. He went to a place called Jhansi, and he started preaching there, and it wasn't successful. It didn't. He wasn't. He did the best he could, and we're talking about Prabhupada. He did the best he could, but it didn't work out well. He wasn't going any. He could see it wasn't going anywhere, and he tried. It wasn't going anywhere. Now, obviously, Krishna pulled the plug on that one, and I'm now philosophically speculating. Krishna may well have pulled the plug so that Prabhupada would go on and go to the Western world. And in fact, Bhaktisiddhanta had instructed him to preach in the West. So that is the point. We want to do the best we can, but if we're unsuccessful and we give it in our best shot, then we can't be attached, because it's Krishna's call.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I often tell parents that, hey, you're raising a child, raise that child to the best of your ability. And the child could turn out to be a pure devotee, the great saint, or the not so interested in spiritual life. And but we can only do what we can do, and the rest is in the free will of the person and in Krishna. Some things are out of our hand, but we do the best we can. And you also, I liked where you asked about, can we feel like we did a good job? I think there's room for that. I think we can. I always encourage devotees, you really do something right, and though we don't take credit for it, I think we can feel good about the fact that we tried, whether it's successful or not successful. I mean, quite frankly, I feel good about what I'm doing, what we're all doing right now. And though I know that ultimately it's going to be up to the individuals, or everyone here of my students has free will. and I can't change that. And ultimately Krishna. But I'm always feeling that I'm an instrument. I'm just an instrument. So if I just try to be the best instrument I can, and I can feel good about that, that's okay.
Okay.
Even knowing that I'm empowered, that it's really the potency is coming from Prabhupada. I mean, I would, as you heard me say many times, I wouldn't consider taking a disciple without Prabhupada, being like right next to me. And so there's definitely room for that.
Thank you.
So yeah, we should be result oriented. I mean, Prabhupada wanted to, he took literally what Lord Chaitanya said, that Pritiviti acharata nagarati gram sarvatra patroy hoibe maranam. Lord Chaitanya wanted that this chanting of Hare Krishna is heard everywhere in the world, all throughout the planet. Prabhupada was focused on that. And anyone who's read the Lilamrita, that Prabhupada in the very beginning, when I think he was still in the Bowery, he was like sitting down at a bench and telling somebody, "Oh yes, we're all over the world," when we hadn't been yet. And nobody could figure out why does the Swamiji want to call this the International Society for Krishna Consciousness? There's just a couple of hippies, right? It was just rat-tat. Ragtat, what's the word? Rat-tat.
Tag.
Huh?
Ragtag.
Ragtag. Yeah, it's just like a ragtag. It was a tiny little place that they had, and a few people would come, and most of them were stoned, and he's calling it the international, not just national, or not just the state of New York, or international. Prabhupada was focused in that way. He was very result oriented. He wanted his books. He wanted so many books distributed everywhere, and he was very result oriented. But he knew that it was all in Krishna's hands. And he knew, and so often he said that it's simply by his guru and his disciples making it happen. He was very humble. So the answer is yes. So in either case, a materialist or devotee, we should be result oriented and do the best we can. But know that ultimately, if we fail, but we've given it our best shot, we get the same. Krishna is equally pleased. Okay.
Thank you.
So let's go on. I think next was Kalki.
Gurudev, I think Malati Mataji had a question or a comment.
Okay, Malati, sure. Malati, you're muted.
Yes, I'm sorry, Gurudev. No, I was also wanted to ask you that, we think about what we have done. I mean, result oriented, but I'm also thinking that, is it okay if I think that if I cooked really nicely for Krishna, listening to bhajans and all, then Krishna, because we don't taste, right? So once that is done, then the offering comes back, the bhoga comes back as prasadam, and I eat. I said, oh, it's so tasty today. So I'm telling myself, oh, Krishna is pleased. Guru Maharaj is pleased with me. Guru Dev is pleased with me. So I could focus and cook nicely for Krishna today. So Krishna is pleased. So can we also think, and then of course on the other side, when it is, something doesn't go the way we planned, then we say, I don't say, oh, Krishna is angry with me. No, but thinking that Krishna has other plans. So, so this is not what he intended for me, but I tried. So maybe there's something else. Is that okay to think in that way, like to be result oriented?
Yeah, definitely. Hold on. I'm gonna grab my headset instead.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, Malati. At the same time, the only one thing I'll add to that, and that was the only thing I would add to that is that sometimes we can screw up.
Yeah.
And
Many
then we
times.
have to take the blame for it.
Okay.
Like the famous story that somebody made some dish for Prabhupada. Instead of putting sugar, they put salt. Everyone's heard this story before. I'm sure you have. They offered it to Prabhupada, and the devotee said to Prabhupada, "Oh, Prabhupada, it's Krishna's mercy." Prabhupada said, "No, not Krishna's mercy. You're nonsense." Right?
Yeah. Yes, I remember the first time I made.
Malti, you need to unmute.
Oh, sorry. I remember the first time I
Either
made.
that or this isn't working.
I think it's Gurudev.
Is this not working? Can everybody hear Malati?
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
yes,
Yeah.
Gurudev.
We can hear
Yeah.
her.
We can hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Well, okay, Gurudev, I was just saying that how when in the first time I baked cookies in Boise Temple, and so I've never used sodium bicarbonate. I always use baking powder. So the Matajis told me put sodium bicarbonate. I asked her how much, and she said 1 tablespoon. I said so much, and she said yes, but she was thinking of something else, and I was asking how much do I put it? Those cookies came out that big, each one. And it was for His Holiness Hanumat Preshak Swami Maharaj. And then he had these huge cookies offered to the deities, came back, and he said, "Wow, who made these huge cookies for me?" And then he took a bite and he said, "Oh my God." It tasted, the sodium bicarbonate was so strong. And then he said, "Who made these cookies?" And they pushed me forward. And I was not even initiated then. I was like, "I did, Maharaj." Then he said,
okay, I'm gonna ask others. Anybody speak about how would you analyze this?
Okay.
Anybody? What would your comment to Malati be in this situation? Anybody? You're a speaker.
Well, I would just say that she did it all in love. She offered it in love. It was devotional service, and she followed the instructions given to her.
But they all backed away, and they said, "No, she made that. She put the ingredients." I was
Anyway,
like,
Krishna was messing with you. Well, look, we all know the story of was it King Yudhishthir's wife that was feeding Krishna banana, but by accident feeding the peels.
Vidura.
It was Vidura himself?
No, Vidura's wife. Not
Vidura's wife. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
She was feeding Krishna the peels instead. She was in such ecstasy. She was feeding the peels rather than banana, and Krishna was loving it. So I would say that Krishna ate your cookies. And Hanumat Prashek Swami is very cool. I mean, he's one of my favorite people. He's very groovy. he's probably of all the Swamis, he's probably the most like happy-go-lucky. Yeah, he's wonderful. So yeah, Krishna, I'm sure he was thrilled with them, and devotees were just anyway picking on him. Okay, so we're going to now go on to Kalki, and that is here. So, that was an email, yeah? Did all these just come in?
Yes, Gurudev.
Kalki, can you read your question?
Yes. My question for this week is as follows. Growing up Catholic, I learned that our loved ones go to heaven and that someday we will join them and be in their presence. There is this comfort in knowing that we will be together once again. This also helps one during grieving. But if they were reincarnated, how will we ever see them again?
Great question. Now, I'm going to answer it, and you may get a different answer from someone else. But the way I would answer that question is that, in my understanding, is that the person we knew as a relative changes completely according to their karma, and that personality doesn't exist anymore. Now, they may, it's described in the Bhagavad Gita that Vayar Gandan Ivashiyat, that just as as air picks up aromas and it takes it with them and it goes to different places, but it's always changing. That person, that personality. I'll give you an example. Like my mother, I super love my mommy, and I remember her in such a wonderful way. I have her picture right by my bed. But I know that in her next life, she's not my mommy anymore. So how can I go visit her? It's like a role that she played. Like Dustin Hoffman played Tootsie. How many people saw Dustin Hoffman playing Tootsie? This is so old. That nobody.
No.
Just going back so far. Yeah, only old people raise her.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, he played the role of a woman, and he was a straight guy, wasn't gay, but he played the role of a woman. It's an amazing role that he played. He played Little Big Man. Anybody know Little Big Man? He was an Indian chief or something. He plays all these different roles. So I've never really fully understood, and there may be some other side to it, that people that want to go to like Pitraloka, there may be more than I understand, to be honest with you. But I know that what I'm saying is true, and there may be some other factors involved. In other words, maybe if you're performing certain rituals, that you can go someplace and live on some planet as you are, and people can come and visit you. But that's going to be temporary. If that were true, that's going to be temporary anyway. I'm sure my mom is definitely not my mom anymore. I mean, she's not Faye. She's not necessarily a woman, but she came back as a devotee. She could be some Indian person that I've met that's, amazing. Who knows? But that's how I would answer that question. Your mom is gone. And by the way, Koki, you had a very pious mom. So your mom is on her spiritual journey. We don't want her to stay mom. We want her to be born as some, South India somewhere, and some great preacher. Who knows? That's how I would focus on. That's how I would answer the question. Okay.
Thank you, Guru Dev.
All right. And
Hare Krishna.
Lakshman.
Pranams. We have a guest. Maya Mataji.
Yes. Can we see who's our guest? I love guests. Oh, Hare Krishna. Thank you for being with us.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Lakshman, I think you had a question. Lakshman Prabhu, you need to unmute yourself.
Would you like me to read it, Guru Dev? Yes.
Yeah, please. I couldn't find it. I had them already, but anyway.
In Nectar of Devotion, Srila Prabhupada gives the 5 essentials to Bhakti. Can you share an understanding of what is living in Mathura, both physically and in Smarana? Is Vrindavan also implied, as it seems that way in the purport by Srila Prabhupada in chapter 13? And then I have a quote here. Srila Prabhupada in Nectar of Devotion, there are 5 items of devotional service which are so potent that even a little performance can arouse the love of Godhead. They are one, the association of devotees. 2, chant the holy name of the Lord. 3, to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. 4, to live in Mathura. And 5, to worship the deity with faith and veneration.
Great. Anybody want to answer that question? Is there more?
No, no, Gurudev. Thank you.
Anybody want to answer that? Okay. So these are the 5 angas, and there's a verse. Lord Chaitanya spoke this. Sadhu Sangha Namakirtan Bhagavata Shravana Mathura Vasa Sri Murtina Shraddhaya Sevana. I think I sent that to Tirtha Prabhu, didn't I?
Yes, we've talked about this in some depth, Gurudev.
Yeah. So, there's 5 angas of bhakti, and I really focus on them because when Rupa Goswami, who studied all the shastras, Rupa, Sanatan, the Goswamis, they were studying all the shastras, and Lord Chaitanya wanted them to distill it to something very practical for us to follow, since the age of Kali had now come on. And they were also thinking towards the future. So those 5 things are really important. Chanting the holy name, which we all do, we chant our japa, and also in kirtan. So, let's do it in order. So sadhu sangha means to associate with devotees. Really critical, sadhu sangha. We're doing that right now. Sadhu sangha namakirtan, we're chanting. Bhagavata Shravana, to hear the Bhagavatam or the scriptures, but here it's saying the Bhagavatam, Bhagavata Shravana. Mathura Vasa. So Mathura Vasa means to live in Mathura. But my understanding, it means a holy place. This is giving it as example, live in Mathura. So all of us have, in our own way, we've like I was just, Rasika Pujari Prabhu was just showing me his deities, and then he was showing me Vrindavan Chandra's deities, who he's taking care of because he's getting ready, he's doing some traveling. And we all have, I think we all have little altars in our in our homes, and we turn our home into a holy place. So now that's not to exclude, Prabhupada did want us to visit holy places, and especially Vrindavan and Mayapur. They're the ones he really emphasized and I think everyone should, if you can, it's not critical, but it's nice to visit those places. When Tirtha Prabhu started his Eastern journey, when he went to Vrindavan, it was like, he got a real taste and a lot of mercy. But you can get that anywhere. Just come to a temple. Any temple. Not necessarily an ISKCON temple, but any Gaudiya temple. But primarily turning our home into a holy place. I kind of feel like right now my stateroom, as Lord Jagannath and Prabhupada are here, kind of at the last minute, I decided to take some deities with. Everybody else did it, but I've never done that. I've never taken deities with me. So Prabhupada and Lord Jagannath are here, and I come back to my stateroom, and nice. Then I go out and preach. I go out and meet people. Yeah, so that should answer your question, yeah?
Yeah, thank you, Gurudev. Can I just follow up real briefly? Is there something about having Mathura specifically on the list instead of Vrindavan or instead of Dwarka?
No, I would have thought that Vrindavan would be at the top of the list.
Me too.
Anyway, I don't, because Krishna is a little less intimate in Mathura than in Braj. So I don't know why that is. I don't
Thank you,
know.
Gurudev.
It's it that way. Okay. Were there any other questions? Or did anybody bring?
Yes, Guru. Yes, Gurudev. Mayans was next.
Oh, that's right.
So it says, yes. So in the Guru Puran, it's stated that any person who in the gladness sees the worship of the deity in the temple will obtain the results of Kriya Yoga, which are described in the Panchatrika scripture. Kriya Yoga is a system of practice, much like devotional service, but it is especially meant for mystic yogis. In other words, by this gradual process, the mystic yogis are eventually elevated to the devotional service of the Lord. So my question is here, Kriya Yoga is mentioned. It is my understanding that Bhakti Yoga is the only way to attain devotional service. This Kriya Yoga is elevating them to Bhakti Yoga, but we as devotees did not need to practice any other yoga other than Bhakti Yoga. So why would Kriya Yoga be mentioned as a way to Bhakti Yoga? Why not just practice Bhakti Yoga and discard other forms of yoga?
Good question. I like the question. Well, Kriya Yoga, Kriya literally means to do. And generally Kriya Yoga, now the way Prabhupada talks about Kriya Yoga, and say people like, I don't know how many people read Paramahamsa Yogananda's book, Autobiography of a Yogi, but Kriya Yoga, well, one of the main features of the kind of the central theme of Kriya Yoga is a type of mystic yoga, and also breathing. It's pranayama is a real big part of it. Kriya Yoga, Kriya means to do your duty very nicely. Like if you're a householder, be a really good householder. Right? Raise your children nicely. But if you don't add bhakti to it, it's useless. It can lead you. It's kind of like more in the mode of goodness, just being a good person. But if there's no bhakti, I got some verses I wrote down. Hold on. You find them. Some verses from Prabhupada. Here's some pretty cool quotes. Okay. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam in the purport. The mystic yogis, the jnanis and karmis, and followers of many other methods of self-realization cannot attain the stage of perfection without bhakti yoga. The conclusion is that bhakti yoga is the only means of attaining the perfection of life. Another quote. This is also from the third canto. The same area. When ritualistic performances are performed strictly according to the rules and regulations, they may be helpful in advancing one towards bhakti yoga. But if they are done whimsically without any reference to devotional service, they are useless labor. Oh, that's that's the verse. Etavan eva yogamyam. Etavan eva yogamyam. Janma karma. Anyway, somehow I'm not remembering the verse right now, but
Malati Mataji's got it.
No, I was just, is that the end one is Shrama Eva Hi Kevalam?
That's the punchline. Shrama Eva Kevalam.
Yeah.
Avan Eva Yogamyam. Janma karma. Anyway, whatever that verse is, that's the punchline. Is that if you do your mystic yoga very, very well, and you do your household duties very, very well, that if they don't awaken the love of Krishna in your heart, the desire to want to hear the message of Vasudeva, then Shrama Eva Kevalam, the whole thing is useless. Etavan Eva Yoga Yam. Yeah, Etavan Eva Yoga Yam Svakarma Paranishtaya. That means Swadharma, doing your duty, your duty, Paranishtaya, very, very perfectly.
Gurudev, I got the verse is Dharma Svanutishta Pungsam Vishvakshena Katasuya.
Dharma Svanutishta Pungsam Vishvakshena Katasuya No Padiyate.
No Padiyate Yadi Ratim Shrama Evahi Kevalam.
Yeah.
It's 1 to 8. First canto, second chapter, 8 verse.
Right. Okay, here's another one. Kriya Yoga, or rituals without devotion, are simply a waste of time. The highest perfection of life is to engage in devotional service in one's occupational duty under the direction of the spiritual master. So there's so many quotes here. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed, otherwise work binds one to the material world. O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in this way you will always remain unattached and free from bondage. So anyway, let me come back to Zoom. So you got the idea that if the Kriya Yoga does not necessarily include Bhakti Yoga. It can lead you to it. But if you don't come in contact with it, with a Vaishnava, you're not going to go anywhere. You can be you can be the most ideal person, but if there's Bhakti's not added to it, then it's a waste of time. Whose question was that? That was that was Rasika Pujari's question. And the quote that you were quoting was something, from the Puranas, and right?
Yes, Gurudev, yes.
So, yeah, in this age, Prabhupada starts us right out with Bhakti Yoga. And it's interesting that Prabhupada talks about Karma Yoga and different types of yoga in the Bhagavad Gita, but Prabhupada puts a spin on it. When he translated his Gita, he tied them all into devotional service because they're useless if practiced without any devotional service at all. There must be bhakti. And that's really what Tirtha Prabhu will tell us. That's what Jesus taught. It was all about bhakti.
Gurudev, I have one question on this topic.
Okay.
So when we say that when we do our duty nicely, right, we're in the mode of goodness, but not attached to the result, but there must be some bhakti. So if devotees, like for example, a mother, right, she's delivered her baby, but she cannot say, I'm going to work, I have to take care of my baby, because baby is dependent totally on the mother. So if she's doing that, she pleases Krishna because that is her prescribed duty. She's in the mode of goodness, right? So for devotees,
stop.
It's not.
She's not in the mode of goodness. If she's doing it for Krishna, that's not the mode of goodness. She's acting. This is service. Bhakti is in pure good, is beyond the mode of goodness. This isn't the mode of goodness.
So if she's doing that as her prescribed duty as a mother, so isn't that in the mode of goodness? Is that in the mode of goodness?
The mode of goodness is she was a really good mother and taking really good care of her child, totally selfless. That's mode of goodness. But when we're doing it for Krishna, it's beyond the mode of goodness.
So even in this material world, like devotees now, right? We are doing all this, chanting, reading, offering our food. So have we? But we have a lot of desires and everything, right? So
it's okay.
So we are not in the higher than the mode of goodness, right? Are we in the mode of goodness or higher? Where do we stand?
It's beyond the mode of goodness. You're taking care of your husband. Like, I mean, that's a big part of your life right now, isn't it?
Mhm.
It's a huge, it's mostly what you're doing is taking care of your husband. That's absorbing practically everything you do. You're able to squeeze in, come into class and preparing a talk and so on. But your service right now, you're taking it as a service to Krishna. That's not the mode of goodness. That is definitely beyond devotional bhakti is beyond the mode of goodness.
Right.
It may look like the mode of goodness. Sometimes it may look like the mode of passion, what we're doing.
Right.
But it's beyond.
Okay, right. Because I'm giving the class tonight. So I'm asking some questions so that I can write it properly. Yes, it's 17:11. It says that the person in the mode of goodness, because Arjuna is asking the question, right? How about someone who's the mentality and activities of someone who is, worshipping the Lord through by his own imagination. So there's this in 17:11. It says that somebody who worships but who is doing his duty without attachment to the results. So is he in the mode of goodness? And it says that he's in the mode of goodness. Therefore, he's in the mode of goodness. So the translation is like that.
Okay, well, I would say based on just what you're telling me, if someone's doing without attachment, but you're not without attachment because of attachment to Krishna, that's probably mode of goodness. If you're doing it to please Krishna, this is your service.
Right. Okay.
That's beyond the mode of goodness. That's not mode of goodness. That's beyond it. You could do real passionate things for Krishna. Really, like when I get up in the morning and I chant my japa and I'm attending Bhagavatam class, and so that kind of resembles a mode of goodness. But in the afternoon, when I'm out, fixing my boat and working on it, and because I'm going to be taking some people out and so on, I'm kind of. It really looks like the mode of passion.
Right.
Climbing up, fixing things, and so on. But no, it's devotional service can be in any of the modes.
Okay.
But it's not really in the modes. It may appear like it's in those modes.
Okay. Yeah, that's
what's his name? Rathayatra elder Jayananda, thank you. Yeah, Jayananda. I mean, he was like a mechanic. Most of his service didn't look like the mode of goodness at all. Passionately building cars, fixing things, and he was filthy. He was dirty. I mean, from head to toe. That doesn't look like no mode of goodness Brahmana would ever come near his clothes. But he was
consciousness.
It was beyond the modes of nature.
Okay.
Bhakti is beyond the modes of nature.
Okay. Thank you, Gurudev.
Okay, so we have about 5 minutes left. Anybody have another question?
I wanted to ask Tirtha Prabhuji, like the question that Tirtha Prabhuji, the question that Kalki Prabhuji asked, right? About his, how do we, in the Christianity, you say that we'll meet each other in heaven, right? And then now you are in Krishna consciousness, like how Gurudev has explained. So how do we understand this? I mean, Gurudev has explained, but I want you to please explain how the Christian scriptures speak about this. How is it that we can meet somebody in heaven? So I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm still working on that, Malini.
Me too.
That's a very interesting question. I was like, wow.
It's a great question. I've asked myself that numerous times, Kalki Prabhuji. I have wondered that, and I also know that what Gurudev was saying is true, that and Christian scriptures say that we shall be changed. It says that in Christian scripture. We shall be changed in a moment, in a twinkling of the eye. We shall be changed. And it says, we shall be like him because we shall see him. And so it tells us in Christian scripture that we will be changed, that our whole way of being, our whole nature, it will be changed. Now, Bhakti teaches that, that we will be changed, that we are being changed as we do our devotional service with the chanting, as we went over the 5 angas. All of those things are ways in which we are creating change. Christianity speaks of that as well. So I have wondered, based on Christian scriptures, how will we know each other? Because we've been changed. Now, this is my current understanding, and Gurudev, you can.
I'm not clear. I'm not clear on it either.
Okay, but my understanding of this is that we are changed into our true nature. We're changed into who we truly are. We're changed into these people who have absolute love of God, and we will know each other not as much necessarily, perhaps by physical appearance or by personality, but by who we really are. And we will have the eyes to see who we are. And so I look at it that way, because Christian scripture itself says we will be changed. And now the body of Jesus, okay, with the death and resurrection of Jesus, his body was changed. Now, at first, maybe he wasn't recognized, but when he would begin to speak and they would be with him, then they would recognize him. His resurrected body, he could just come into a room without coming through a door or anything. So there was a similar appearance, and yet it was a completely different. He had changed. So I don't know. I'm going to keep thinking on this, Malati, and calling.
Okay.
I'm going to keep thinking on it.
When you were speaking, I was just thinking maybe we recognize this because we are spirit soul. When we change, we are the spirit soul who entered the spiritual world.
Right.
So we recognize the other spirit soul as servant, loving servant of the Lord in your service to the Lord, because everybody has different services, right? So we recognize each other as, this is what I was thinking, as the loving service of the Lord, that, oh, this is a service you have, this is a service I have, and we are both serving the Lord, and the focus is on the Supreme Lord. That, in that way, we are recognizing each other as servants. So that's what just popped up when you were saying,
And Gurudev was talking about this aroma that we carry with us.
Yeah.
As many of you may know, the sense of smell is one of the last things to go.
Yeah.
And when I said, for example, not the best example, but anyway, if a woman walks by wearing a particular perfume, and if it's the same perfume that my first girlfriend in high school wore, I am immediately there. I immediately see and smell that first girlfriend. Well, okay. I think of our soul, our spirit soul, as carrying that aroma. We will recognize it. We will know it immediately. That's how I.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking, that the servant of the Lord, that's the feeling we get. I'm thinking, but I'm thinking, thank you so much. Yeah, that was very nice.
You may not exactly see like a peacock, and that was Jiva Dharmadas. Jiva Dharmadas, you look pretty cool as a peacock now. I don't think it's like that at all. There's some other level of recognition.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking when we have moved beyond I mean, when we've moved beyond this material condition,
Yeah,
I'm
till
thinking
one.
about when we've moved beyond that. But there are times, and I've experienced this myself, very few times, but there have been just maybe less than a handful of times that I have met somebody for the first time, and somehow I know them,
Yeah,
and they know me,
right. Yeah,
but we're meeting for the first time.
yeah. Got the
And how does
soul.
one account for that? How does one explain that? But there's something that we recognize in each other immediately.
Yeah,
So anyway,
true.
but
Yeah.
I was speaking
Places.
previously of when we've moved beyond the modes of material nature and we're with Krishna. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you, Prabhupada.
we'll just be patient, and we're going to figure out. We'll
Yeah.
find out all this stuff. Just like I was speaking in the Bhagavatam class the other day, that how is it that everything in the spiritual world's eternal and everything in the material world's temporary? What's it like? Our brains aren't capable of going there.
Yeah.
I mean, don't waste your time. What's it like that everything is eternal? I can't imagine it. But yet you do other things. But nothing ever ends. We'll just go there and find out. There's so much that will. So we have a lot to look forward to.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And good to see all of you. Good to see you, Francia. I just landed late yesterday afternoon. So yeah.
Well, we hope you settle. We hope you get settled in nicely.
That might take a little while.
Yeah. That. But by the way, did Padma Lochan have her hand up? I wasn't sure if I saw her hand up or not. But I don't see her now anyway. Is Padma Lochan Parampara there with you?
No, Gurudev. I don't know. She dropped off the call. Maybe she's somewhere upstairs. I don't know what happened, Gurudev.
Okay, she had a question. She can get back in touch with me and we can meet.
Yes, Gurudev. I will convey that.
I wasn't sure if I was hallucinating or something.
She was
there's
there,
a whole
but
lot of
yeah.
squares. We have a lot of folks with us today. So all righty. Well, thank you all very much for being
Thank you,
here.
Gurudev.
So
Thank
wonderful.
you, Gurudev. Thank you,
And
devotee.
we'll see everybody again next week.
Yes,
Srila
Gurudev.
Prabhupada ki jai. Haribol.
Jai.
Okay, Gurudev ki jai.
Hare Krishna.